everybody, my name is Erin and this is my booktube channel, Waiting Moose. It has nothing to do with books, but whatever. It seemed like a good name at the time. I am here today to do a book tag video, fall time, cozy time book tag. I was not tagged to do this, so I saw a lot of people doing it and I just felt like joining in. I'm a follower that way. So here we go. This tag originated on Novels and Nonsense booktube channel. So if you want more information about it, go there by all means. I will try to find and post a link to it down below. The first question, Crunching Leaves. The world is full of color. Choose a book that has reds, oranges, and yellows on the cover. So I almost went with an old favorite. I mean, there's a bunch of specific covers for the Terry Pratchett Discworld series that are definitely full of orange, yellow, and red, but you've seen enough Pratchett from me for a long time. So I decided to go with another book you've seen from me recently, but Christopher Moore's Coyote Blue. It's a fantastic book. It goes into some Native American legends with Coyote or the Trickster, basically haunting one of his, he's a god in Native culture, and he's haunting this Native who has given up, or Indian who has given up his heritage basically to live in the world of white people, and it's hilarious. Christopher Moore does a fantastic job of writing humor, and I absolutely recommend his books to anyone. But this book, definitely red, orange, and yellow in that giant eye. I just realized it was a giant eye. Cozy sweater, which I'm wearing, by the way. This is way too warm out right now. It is almost December. I'm filming this at the end of November. It's almost December. I'm in Canada and it was above freezing today. It was fantastic. I did go out in sock feet to grab my bird feeders to refill them this morning. It was a little chilly, but not that bad. I think this afternoon I probably could have just gone out without a coat. It's ridiculous. Totally ridiculous for this time of year, and there better be snow for Christmas. But getting back to the question, cozy sweater. It's finally cold enough to don warm, cozy clothing. What book gives you the warm fuzzies? My warm fuzzy book. It's actually a warm fuzzy author. Again, you've seen this book from me before because I have limited books on my shelves. This is Stuart McLean's Stories from the Vinyl Cafe. He is a Canadian author. He has a radio program on Saturdays on the CBC. I try to listen to it whenever I'm in the car at that time, and I just love his books. They're such nice, simple, short stories about Dave and Morley and their family and friends, and I can't help but just absolutely love his writing. And whenever I read his stories, I hear them in his voice, and he's got such an awesome storytelling voice because he's from the East Coast, and that's what they do. The next question is Fall Storm. The wind is howling and the rain is pounding. Choose your favorite book or genre that you like to read on a stormy day. This was a tough one for me because you guys are getting tired of hearing me say the same things all the time. I know you are, because I have books on my shelf and I try to pick from those so I have something to hold up. And I wonder to myself every time why I don't have more books back there, or more books that I like, because I do like all of these, but there's not a lot of variety there. My answer for this one, I'm gonna pick a Dana Stabenow. This one is Fire and Ice, which is the first novel in the Liam Campbell series set in Alaska. I guess my go-to genre is absolutely mystery and suspense. I love them. I could read them every day. I've read a lot of them this year. Dana Stabenow, I like her series. She's got two series. This one and the Kate Shujak series that are both set in Alaska, and I think they're amazing. They're so well written, and I'm such a big fan, and I am absolutely, if I had a day where it was like horrible outside and I'm sitting inside by the fire with a quilt and a book and a cup of tea, it would probably be one of her books. Cool Crisp Air. What's the coolest character you'd want to trade places with? This one was tough because I wanted to give another one of my stock answers, and I'm not going to. I decided to think a little harder, and you know what? The character I most want to trade places with is Thursday Next in the Thursday Next series of novels by Jasper Fforde. This is the Air Affair. It is the first in the series. That there is her dodo. I can't remember his name. Pickwick. Her pet dodo Pickwick. First of all, you're a literary detective, so your job is literally to go through books chasing criminals and people who aren't supposed to be in those books. And potentially rewriting books if the disturbance created by the criminals is too much. So it's fascinating. I absolutely love these books. They are like, they're great. I need to get the last in the series and then wait and wait and wait for the next one to be published. Hot Apple Cider. What underhyped book do you want to see become the next biggest, hottest thing? This one's tough for me because I don't really read a lot of current fiction, and I definitely don't read a lot of popular fiction. I don't really have an answer on this, so I'm going to go with something that I haven't read yet, and it's Leonard, which is by William Shatner, and it's about Leonard Nimoy, because I honestly think that that's going to be just a fantastic book. That's my answer. Oh, it's getting warm, people. Really shouldn't have done the sweater and the scarf. Isn't it nice though? I love red. Next, coats, scarves, and mittens. The weather has turned cold and it's time to cover up. What's the most embarrassing book cover you own that you like to keep hidden in public? I don't actually have a book that falls into this category. Maybe when I have like a Harlequin romance, probably when I have a Harlequin romance, or when I take out a book from the library that's like one of the Maya Banks series, because some of those covers are pretty racy, and I used to take them to the office. Oh, I would do it partly because one of my coworkers would just give me such a hard time. And then when I have my e-reader, he would like come over and he'd look at the e-reader and he'd be like, "You're not reading that." He's like, "If I turn this on, what are you really reading?" You know, and he'd just make fun of my book choices. So there was a few times when it would be a Maya Banks book that was sitting on the top of my e-reader, or it would actually be a physical copy of a Maya Banks book. Or one of the Highlander series where there's this guy, bare-chested guy in a kilt with his, plaid everywhere, and the woman just spilling out of the top of her dress. And I'm like, oh God, I've got the odd bodice ripper that I read. We all have bodice rippers. Those are the ones that I would love to cover up, but I never have. My last question is pumpkin spice. What's your favorite fall time comfort food or foods? Oh, in the fall, you know what? I love soup, and I love making homemade soup. I love using my slow cooker. Chili, I love all of those. I love baking bread. I grew up on a farm. I was raised by someone who was a teacher before she became a mother. I was taught how to sew. I was taught how to knit. I was taught how to crochet. I was taught how to bake. The first time I ever baked, this is good. This is way beyond the question that was asked, but I don't care. I'm telling you. My mom and dad went to town and I was at home by myself. I probably would have been like 12 or 13 maybe, and I decided I wanted cookies, and my mom had cookbooks and my mom had ingredients, and I was more than smart enough to put these things together. I don't remember if my cookies were a success. I do remember my parents were like shocked when they got home and I'd baked cookies. I grew up with all of that stuff. Oh, lasagna. That was a standby food at Harvest. For the last question in the fall time cozy time book tag. Loved doing it because I love fall, and now I'm gonna go take off my sweater and my scarf because oh my God, it's far too hot for this kind of layering. My name is Erin. This is Waiting Moose, my booktube channel, and I hope you enjoyed my book tag and my video. Please leave me any comments you have down below. I was not tagged for this, so I'm gonna not pass it along, but if you do feel like doing this book tag, by all means, do it. I stumbled across it on a written blog, actually. I mean, I've been watching people do them. A bunch of booktubers have done them recently, but I can't remember who. On Into the Bookcase. She did it in 2014, so it's a little old, but I was looking up to find out what the questions were. That's where I found it. Hope to see you again. I'm glad you stopped by and watched my crazy little video with my crazy little sweater. This is more of a wintry sweater, but whatever. Thank you for watching.